Namaskar friends, this is Tribhuwan Bhartiya, motivation speaker, authors of many books on environmental education, many research papers in international journals on environmental education and socialist. Government teacher in Vivekananda Vidyalaya Higher Secondary School, Tribhuwan, Assam, India, YouTube live educator and founder of Tribhuwan Education Private Limited. Friends, in the last class, we have studied environmental issues in which studied in detail about the air pollution. Friends, I am saying you that the environmental educations or environmental pollution, all things are very important in almost all the examinations all over the India as well as all over the world, because at present environmental issues become very critical and it requires a lot of attentions from all over the world community so that environmental issues can be resolved and our earth can sustain us as well as our future generations. So friends, all of you are requested that may be school students, college students or university students, it is must to study by you environmental education so that you can become aware as well as you can make other people aware about the environment so that our earth and our environment can sustain us as well as our future generation for a long time, and our earth can sustain and our earth can become eternal without affecting any pollutions or any issues. So friends, let us start today water pollution just after the air pollution in the last class. So friends, let us start water pollution. Water pollution and its control. Water is one of the important environmental factors to the living world. Human beings, by sending all kinds of waste into the water bodies, they are disturbing the water bodies in their functions. Due to such activities of humankind, the ponds, lakes, streams, rivers, estuaries, and oceans are becoming polluted in several parts of the world. Water bodies are our lifeline as well as that of all other living organisms because water can wash away everything not taking cognizance. Realizing the importance of maintaining the cleanliness of the water bodies, the Government of India has passed the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974 to safeguard our water resources. Domestic sewage and industrial effluents. As we work with water in our homes in the cities and towns, we wash everything into drains. A mere 0.1% impurities make domestic sewage unfit for human use. You have read about sewage treatment plants in the previous chapter, that is chapter number 10. Solids are relatively easy to remove. What is difficult to remove are dissolved salts such as nitrates, phosphates, other nutrients, toxic metals, ions, and organic compounds. Domestic sewage primarily contains biodegradable organic matters which readily decomposes thanks to bacteria and other microorganisms which can multiply using these organic substances as substrates and hence utilize some of the components of sewage. It is possible to estimate the amount of organic matter in sewage water by measuring biochemical oxygen demand, that is BOD. Microorganisms involved in biodegradation of organic matter in the receiving water body consume a lot of oxygen, and as a result there is a sharp decline in dissolved oxygen downstream from the point of sewage discharge. This causes mortality of fish and other aquatic creatures. Domestic sewage and industrial effluents. Presence of large amounts of nutrients in water also causes excessive growth of planktonic free-floating algae called an algal bloom, which imparts a distinct color to the water bodies. Algal blooms causes deteriorations of the water quality and fish mortality. Some bloom-forming algae are extremely toxic to human beings and animals. You may have seen the beautiful mauve-colored flowers found on very appealingly shaped floating plants in water bodies. These plants, which were introduced into India for their lovely flowers, have caused havoc by their excessive growth by causing blocks in our everyday life. They grow faster than our ability to remove them. These are plants of water hyacinth, that is Acornia crassipes. the world's most problematic aquatic weed, also called terror of Bengal. You have seen these, of course. They grow abundantly in eutrophic water bodies and lead to an imbalance in the ecosystem dynamic of the water body. Sewage from our homes as well from hospitals are likely to contain many undesirable pathogenic microorganisms, and its disposal into water without proper treatment may cause outbreak of serious diseases such as dysentery, typhoid, jaundice, cholera, etc. Industries. Unlike domestic sewage, wastewater from industries like petroleum, paper manufacturing, metal extraction and processing, chemical manufacturing, etc. often contain toxic substances, notably heavy metals, that is defined as element with density greater than 5 gram per centimeter cube, such as mercury, cadmium, copper, lead, etc. A variety of organic compounds. A few toxic substances often present in industrial wastewaters can undergo biological magnification, that is biomagnification, in the aquatic food chain. Biomagnification. Biomagnification of DDT in an aquatic food chain. Biomagnification refers to increase in concentration of the toxicant at the successive levels of ecosystem. This happens because a toxic substance accumulated by an organism cannot be metabolized or excreted and is thus passed on to the next higher trophic level. This phenomena is well known for mercury and DDT. Figure shows biomagnification of DDT in an aquatic food chain. In this manner, the concentration of DDT is increased at successive trophic levels. Say, if it starts at 0.003 ppb, that is parts per billion in the water, it can ultimately reach 25 ppm, that is parts per million in fish-eating birds through biomagnification. High concentration of DDT disturb calcium metabolism in birds, which causes thinning of egg cells and their premature breaking, eventually causing decline in bird populations. Lake water. Eutrophication is the natural aging of a lake by biological enrichment of its water. In a young lake, the water is cold and clear, supporting little life. With time, streams draining into the lakes introduce nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus, which encourage the growth of aquatic organisms. As the lake's fertility increases, plant and animals like barguins and organic remains begin to be deposited on the lake's bottom. Over the centuries, as silt and organic debris pile up, the lake grows shallower and warmer, with warm water organisms supplanting those that thrive in a cold environment. Marsh plants take root in the shallows and begins to fill in the original lake's basin. Eventually, the lake gives way to large masses of floating plants, that is bog, finally converting into land. Depending on climate, size of the lakes and other factors, the natural aging of lake may span thousands of years. However, pollutants from man's activities like effluents from the industries and homes can radically accelerate the aging process, that is cultural eutrophication. This phenomenon has been called cultural or accelerated eutrophication. During the past century, lakes in many parts of the earth have been severely eutrophicated by sewage and agricultural and industrial wastes. Now, thermal power plants, the prime contaminants are nitrates and phosphates, which act as plant nutrients. They overstimulate the growth of algae, causing unsightly scum and unpleasant odors and robbing the water of dissolved oxygen vital to other aquatic life. At the same time, other pollutants flowing into a lake may poison whole population of fish, whose decomposing remains further deplete the water dissolved oxygen content. In such fashion, a lake can literally choke to death. Heated thermal wastewaters flowing out of electricity generating units. For example, thermal power plants constitute another important category of pollutants. Thermal wastewater eliminates or reduces the number of organisms sensitive to high temperature and may enhance the growth of plants and fish in extremely cold areas, but only after causing damage to the indigenous flora and fauna. A case study of integrated wastewater treatment. Let us study. Wastewater, including sewage, can be treated in an integrated manner by utilizing a mix of artificial and natural processes. An example of such an initiative is the towns of Arcata, situated along the northern coast of California. Collaborating with biologists from the Humboldt State University, the townspeople created an integrated wastewater treatment process within a natural system. The cleaning occurs in two stages. A. The conventional sedimentation, filtering, and chlorine treatments are given. After this stage, lots of dangerous pollutants like dissolved heavy metals still remain. To combat this, an innovative approach was taken, and B. The biologists developed a series of 6 connected marshes over 6 hectares of marshland. Appropriate plants, algae, fungi, and bacteria were seeded into this area, which neutralize, absorb, and assimilate the pollutants. Hence, as the water flows through the marshes, it gets purified naturally. The marshes also constitute a sanctuary with a high level of biodiversity in the form of fishes, animals, and birds that now reside there. A citizens group called Friends of the Arcata Marsh, that is formed, are responsible for the upkeep and safeguarding of this wonderful project. All this time, we have assumed that removal of waste requires water, that is creation of the sewage. Ecological sanitation is a sustainable system for handling human excreta using dry composting toilets. This is a practical, hygiene, efficient, and cost-effective solution to human waste disposal. The key point to note here is that with this composting method, human excreta can be recycled into a resources as natural fertilizer, which reduces the need for chemical fertilizers. There are working ecosan toilets in many areas of Kerala and Sri Lanka. Friends, this was the water pollution in detail and its controlling measure. In the controlling measure, we have seen a case study of Jakarta city. In the city, local peoples have used and biologists have used a unique type of process of clearing and purifying water. We can also implement this type of or even more advanced than this type of measures in our cities, in our country, in our state, so that we can control the water pollution, we can handle the water pollution easily, and we can save, we can conserve water for us as well as for our future generation, so that water can be sustained, water can retain, water can remain throughout the life of earth, so that all the peoples as well as populations of plants and animals can remain alive, can remain healthy on the earth. Thank you.